Like to, as the coaches are getting settled in, just a couple of very quick announcements here for the media. Today we have, following this press conference, immediately following, we have Wisconsin some photo opportunity for the first 20 minutes of their practice over at the University of Tampa, followed by post-practice interviews with defensive players. It was noted at 12:45. It's actually going to be probably available a little bit earlier than that, maybe as early as 12:20, 12:25. And then Auburn has post-practice availability of players at 1:30 at the end of their practice. And then this afternoon we have a photo opportunity at Busch Gardens at 3 o'clock. Meet at the Nairobi gate. Make sure you're signed up on the list across the hall. And just meet us there at the Nairobi gate at 3 o'clock sharp for the photo opportunity with some of the players at the park doing some fun things behind the scenes. One last thing, game day forecast. Been asked about that. So far, right now, the forecast for Thursday, game day, 74 degrees and sunny. Forecast in Auburn, I think that day is 53 and 27 in Madison, Coach. So should be a lot better for all the folks that are down here. We're going to open it up with Coach Alvarez and Coach Malzahn. Ask them to each give a brief opening statement. And then we'll do questions and answers, and try and monitor that, do as best we can to get everybody's questions in by the time we need to wrap this up. So I'd like to ask Coach Alvarez, as the official home team of the bowl this year with Wisconsin Badgers, to open us up with a statement, and we'll go to Coach Malzahn for his statement, and then we'll open up to questions.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you giving the weather report. You know, that's one thing.
We do that here in Florida.
I know, and I understand why. You know, when you come from Wisconsin, you go to a bowl game, you think of a reward, you think of good weather. And so to have the type of weather we've had since we've been here, it's been a thrill for all of us, and we really appreciate it. But I've been very pleased with our preparation this week. The kids have been good. I always feel that a bowl game is a reward for a good season. I like for them to experience the bowl and take advantage of everything that's offered them. I think they've done that, and yet they've given us full attention at practice. I think we've practiced well in preparation. Now, you know, after a few days, you start getting ready to play the game, and I'm sure Gus will probably agree with that. It's getting closer to game time. I think they're getting anxious to play. But you know, we've got great respect for Auburn and the job that Coach Malzahn's done there, and the athletes that I see on film are very impressive. So, but we're getting ready to play.
First of all, I'd just like to thank Jim McVeigh, his staff, for the hospitality. It's been outstanding so far. Our team, you know, I feel like we've had good preparation, good focus, kind of like Coach was saying. You know, you try to let the guys enjoy it, and it kind of about this time you start locking in. Our guys really flipped the switch probably yesterday as far as, you know, that goes. Very impressed with Wisconsin. Offensively, one of the better rushing teams in all of college football. Of course, Melvin Gordon, one of the better players in all of college football. It's just phenomenal. Defensively, they also have one of the better defenses. I think they're number 1 on third down, number 3 overall. So just a complete team. And like I said, a couple hours after I found out we were playing Wisconsin, they decided to add a Hall of Fame coach to go with it. So that's always a challenge with that. But we're looking forward to playing them, and we have a lot of respect for them.
Okay, questions? Right over here.
For both coaches, and it's going to be a little roundabout, so bear with me. Coach Malzahn, you were at Auburn when you set the bar high with the national championship. Coach Alvarez, you went to Wisconsin. It wasn't even a bar to set when you went there. What made you think, going back to Auburn, you could stay relevant in the national championship hunt? And Coach, what did you see in Madison that made you think you could win 3 Rose Bowls and become relevant?
Well, of course, you know, Auburn has had a lot of great tradition before I got there. I was fortunate enough to be the offensive coordinator in 2010. We had Cam Newton, won the national championship, and so it was a dream come true for me to come back as the head coach. Auburn has high expectations. You know, last year we came close. and I think our program's in really good position, and that's our goal, every year.
Having coached in the Big Ten at Iowa as an assistant and at Notre Dame, Wisconsin was always one of my recruiting areas. Having played there and been in Madison and knowing what type of city it was and the university, a world-class university, I always felt that there was no reason why they couldn't win there. And I felt like the first thing you had to do was keep the best players at home because most of them were leaving. And if we ran the program right and we recruited well, kept the best ones there, and then reached out and bring in specific players from areas where we had contacts and relationships, that there was no reason why we couldn't compete at a high level there.
Yes,
Right on the very end.
Gus, I know coaches will all tell you there's a fine line between winning and losing, but what are some of the keys this year between the season we were able to put together last year and a little bit different this year than some of the last?
Yeah, I think close games, especially in our league, you're going to have numerous close games. And, last year we won those in a lot of different ways. We lost a couple close games, towards the end of the season. We had some deficiencies, and I think some of our deficiencies were exposed.
Gus, is Duke going to be available for the bowl game?
Yeah, Duke Williams will not play. He has been suspended for breaking team rules. He is planning on coming back next year, so that's the reason he's here. I thought it was important that he's on the scout team. He's acting as Wisconsin's, top receiver, and so I felt like that was the right thing to do.
Did he break team rules while you guys were practicing?
I'm not getting into any specifics. He's just not going to play.
Coach Alvarez, what are some of the keys to stopping a dual threat quarterback such as Nick Marshall, who's been able to do so much with his arm and his legs?
Yeah, he's very hard to get down and very athletic and very skilled. I think any time that you play someone with that type of ability, and you better be sound, and you better corner the defense and try to have people chase it down and take your proper angles. You have to be sound, and it's still very difficult to get him down.
Coach, how important is Zach's role going to be as an emotional leader for you guys on defense?
Well, I think someone who's been with the program that long, and the kids respect him and he's played well, he's an important part of the team, even though he can't play. So I think just having him there is meaningful to the rest of the team, and particularly to the seniors.
Gus, I noticed on Twitter, Chad Slade mentioned something about you going home. Is there any updates on that and what happened?
Yeah, he had to go home for a funeral of his family, and he won't be here today, but he will return tonight.
Right here.
Coach, is Melvin going to be able to practice today, and is there any chance this illness could
Yeah, as far as this morning, we met this morning, and think he was okay today. He had a fever yesterday, sat out of practice, but anticipate that he practices today.
Gus, you mentioned, what about the other three guys? Are they all staying, or Cass, Chris, and?
There's nothing new other than the last time. They're just exploring their options.
Gus, just talk about what you do now without obviously Melvin Ray, some of those
Yeah.
guys. What do you see with that?
Yeah, we've played without him a couple games anyway. So, we've got some veteran guys that we can move around. Ricardo Lewis, CJ, Melvin, they all three will have a role in, taking his place.
Coach Malzahn, some of the key guys on this team have that experience from the national championship game last year. Do you feel at all that that's an advantage and that can help some of these guys?
I think anytime you have experience, in bowl games and big games, it can do nothing but help you. You know how the guys are going to react, what you're going to get out of them. And like I said, I've been pleased with our focus. And, in bowl games, you get a tone of your team and how important the game is. And, I'll just tell you, this is a very important game for our players. And we're going to need to play well to have a chance to win against these guys. Yeah, I'm not getting any details. He's just not going to play.
Back.
With Coach Muschamp coming on, of course, short term, it's hard to
Well, I mean, Coach Muschamp's one of the best defensive minds in all of football. So, you know, future-wise, recruiting, there's no doubt people want to play for a guy like him that's had great success and the type of person he is. You know, just coming in new, you know, he's just really been evaluating our players, you know, and trying to see what we have, getting his plan ready for next year. And I will tell you, our urgency from our players has been extremely high. You know, they're trying to impress him. And, you know, but the future is very bright on the defensive side of the football at Auburn.
Leo?
Both coaches again, if you can't be part of that 14 playoff, how important is the bowl experience for your teams in terms of recruiting and
Yeah.
being there?
I think one of the things that's overlooked with bowl games is the experience that the players have. You know, everybody talks about the four in the championship, in the semifinals and the championship game. But all these other bowls, and you hear people say, who cares about them? Well, you know who cares about them? The players care about them. Because that experience is something you'll remember the rest of your life. And so not only that, so the bowl games are important for the kids and the experience for them to have, but also it gives you extra practices to prepare for the following, for next year. And, you know, get some extra work with your young players who've been redshirted and guys who haven't played. So guys want to go coming out of high school when you're recruiting them, they want to go to bowl games. And as a coach, you want to use that as preparation time.
Yeah, and I'll second everything Coach said. You know, this is very important. The way players and coaches look at the bowl, no matter what bowl it is very important. And the extra practice time, especially for your young guys, you know, is very important.
Okay, you're back.
Barry, Gus mentioned that people are trying to impress, kids are trying to impress Will in his, you know, him watching practice. Have you seen the same thing with kids trying to impress Paul? Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, I think there's some of that. You know, Paul's out there every day. He wants to get an idea of the personnel and familiarize himself with them. Now, two classes that our fourth and fifth year guys know Paul. He recruited some of these guys, so they know him already. But the young guys, I think, certainly are aware that he's around.
Yeah, right.
You know, kind of looking back a little bit on Gus and the expectations of Nick Marshall preseason and how he's performed to this point. Are you happy with how he's progressing, what he's done, and most importantly, how he's producing?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, if you look at his whole career, I mean, last year he didn't even go through spring. He wasn't named the starting quarterback until 2 weeks before our first game. He led us to the national championship and really answered the bell every time he was asked. Learn the offense on the run. Well, this year, you know, we really tried to be more balanced and really worked on his passing. Obviously, our last game, you know, with what he did against that defense is very impressive, and I'm very proud of him. He's been a very good leader for us. You know, he's one of the difference makers, you know, in our league, I feel like, and I think offensively he's done a great job.
All the way over there.
Will Duke have to do any kind of disciplinary repercussions of anything?
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about Duke.
Right back here.
Barry, today's the deadline to apply for the assistant positions. Do you anticipate any type of announcement, whether it's coaches staying or coaches coming on before the bowl game?
Probably not. I think Paul still has some interviewing to do, and I think he'll make those announcements after the game, right when he gets back to Madison.
Right there.
Gus, a lot of Nick's best statistical passing games were when he had Sammy and Duke both healthy. Is that kind of what you saw, or how do you feel about just going forward without Duke?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's a blow, but we have played games without him. We have guys that we feel very good about that are veteran guys that have made plays for us the last, 2 years. So, we have a plan, and we feel good about it.
Right up there.
Yes, you talked about Will looking on for practice and being around the team. What has the transition been like defensively? Have you had to be a little bit more hands-on there?
Well, I mean, Charlie Harbison's going to be calling our defense, and anytime you have a defense all year and your players know the terminology, I mean, you can't come in and just change everything. But he's just been more of an observation, evaluating, just trying to get his plan, for next year ready.
Right up there.
Coach Alvarez, how was it important for you
It was important because the players asked me. And, you know, that's what we're in this business for, is for the players. And I wasn't planning on it, and my initial response was I didn't want to do it, but I think I lend stability to those players, and the fact that they came back a second time to ask, I couldn't tell them no. But I think I'm around enough that the players see me and they know me, and I think they have confidence in me, and I think it's more of a stabilizing force more than anything else.
Down here.
Gus, how quickly after the bowl game do you want to get the defensive staff set with who's going to stay and who?
Yeah, I'll get with Will after the bowl game, and we'll get a plan together.
Does it affect anything because the recruiting, the window closing against?
No, we'll wait till after the bowl, and I'll get together with him, and we'll talk.
On the end.
Larry, you mentioned players and everything. You're going to be losing some key players after this game, but with Paul in place now that you have a better handle on the personnel, are you comfortable with where the program is? Win or lose in this game moving forward?
Yeah, I am. I think we're a relatively young team. A lot of productive young players. Naturally, there's some holes you have to fill, but yeah, I feel like we have a good base of solid players.
Down here.
Yes. When did Duke and you come to the decision that he was going to return?
That's all I'm going to say about Duke. Like I already said about 3 times.
Right back here.
A lot of hurry-up offenses, obviously, Gus has implemented that with success at Auburn. What's your take on that overall and how that might have an impact going forward?
Well, you know, as a coach, what you always look for is an edge. And Coach has been running this offense for a long time. He uses it as an edge. You know, as a former defensive coach and someone that you have to stop him. You have to figure out, you know, how to implement your defense and how to adjust it and you know, make calls on the run and prepare for it. You know, we've faced some other defense or offenses like this. But it creates a problem for you, and it's hard. You know, it's hard to practice it. So we've tried to simulate it as best we can, but it's very difficult to prepare for.
Up there in the middle.
Alvarez, you're no stranger to Auburn. What do you remember most about that bowl game and those big?
I remember them as being a very good team, and our guys probably playing one of the better games that we've played. Our guys really performed well that day.
In the second row.
Both coaches again. When both your quarterbacks drop back, they're going to see 21 white helmets. Any thoughts of putting different color helmets on your receivers, your backs? Help them out.
Yeah, we're changing colors. We're going to wear black helmets.
No.
Down in the front. No.
Gus, in a matchup like this, there's a lot of attention on Melvin Gordon. How much do you think that motivates Cap? He's always talked about having a chip on his shoulder.
Well, you know, Cap he's had an outstanding year for us. He's you know, one of those tough guys that is very coachable. You know, and we're very proud to have him, and you know, he'll be ready to play.
Right here.
Coach Alvarez, talk about as a defensive guy, quarterback like Nick Marshall, what kind of problems does he present for guys?
Well, he presents problems. You know, as a defensive coach, you worry about doing everything right, and then a quarterback with his, you know, let's say he's dropping back, with his feet creates a play and moves the sticks. And you've done everything you can do. Everybody's in a position. He makes some people miss and moves the chain. So, and he can hurt you in a lot of different ways. He creates a lot of problems for you.
Coach Alvarez, in the weeks leading up to this game, how have you seen the players' mindset, especially coming off of that big loss in the championship game?
Yeah, I thought that was something that had to be addressed. Our last 3 games were against 3 rivals, very physical games. You know, it was basically a playoff to win our division. They were very difficult games. They were our guys were beat up pretty bad, and we missed couple guys in that game, but I had to get it out of their system. I've been through that, and you don't like to have a game like that, but the first thing you better do is get it out of your system. I told them I thought it was an aberration, that we're a good football team. You won 10 games, and, try to get their confidence back and start getting them focused on this game.
Gus, I know third down defense is certainly a strength of theirs. With the offense you run, the style you got, what kind of a dynamic is that for you going into the game? Added pressure to pick up and produce on the
Yeah, that's really been one of our strengths offensively. We've been pretty good on third down. Of course, our quarterback has a lot to do with that. He's thrown the ball well on third downs. He created plays, on third downs when they weren't there at times. But just looking at their defense on third down, I mean, they make you earn it, and you got to make a play. They don't give you anything, and that's what really stands out to me when I watch them on film.
For both coaches, in your experience, can a player who's, moving on to the NFL, can they significantly impact their draft stock, how they play in bowl games?
I don't know. I think NFL teams take a look at the entire body of work and what they've accomplished, and not so much in one game. But a good game certainly isn't against a quality opponent. Certainly isn't going to hurt you.
Yeah, I agree with Coach.
Here.
Considering Melvin's future, particularly financially, is there any talk about him not playing in this game?
Not by me.
Get their advice on that or anything?
No. If you're a football player, and you plan on going to the next level, if you're worrying about being injured, maybe you shouldn't be in this business.
This question's for both coaches as well. What can a win or a loss, how does that affect things going into next season from your experience?
Well, I mean, I think momentum-wise, obviously, if you win a bowl game, you got momentum the whole offseason. And, of course, you're always thinking recruiting and everything that goes with that. And so I think it's very important.
I learned a lesson years ago. My first bowl game I coached in, we were playing against UCLA, and Terry Donahue told me, he said, I put a lot of stock in bowl games because my first year as a head coach, we had a great year. We were a surprisingly good year, and we played in the bowl game and lost the game, and that's all people talked about. They forgot how good a year we had, and the offseason was all focused on the bowl game. So, but as Gus said, it could be a carryover and momentum for a season, but people remember this game. They'll remember the last game.
In the back there.
The Outback Bowl is such a great game because it's the SEC against the Big Ten. And a lot of people this year, both of you go talk about it, feel like the Big Ten is back on the rise. Maybe the SEC might be waning a little bit. Do you see this game at all as any kind of litmus in that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, me personally, I mean, we're playing a very good team, one of the top teams in the country. And that's the way we're looking at it. And I don't get too much into other stuff.
Yeah, that's same with me. I don't see any waning in the Southeast Conference. I don't know where that came from, but
Mostly ACC fans.
oh,
Yeah,
I don't listen to them.
the West.
Leo.
Both coaches again, they say matchup makes bowl games. Wisconsin wants to run it downhill and run it down your throat. Auburn wants to spread you out. How do you stop that?
That's what our defensive coordinators are hired
Yeah.
for. Trying to figure that out.
Yeah. I think both teams are run teams. We're committed to the run. They're committed to the run. Both defenses, in spring and going against each other are used to stopping the run. I think that'll be a big key, to the game. Who can stop the run the best?
Ian.
Coach, you commented on the penalties over the course of the season,
Yeah.
saying you guys weren't disciplined enough.
Right.
You had these couple of off-the-field incidents as well,
Yeah.
with Jermaine and Duke and some others.
Mm-hmm.
Why has there been discipline problems with the program on and off the field this season?
Well, if you really look, at the last 2 years, we've probably been one of the more disciplined teams off the field, as a whole. So I feel very good about that. As far as on the field this year, there has been some uncharacteristics, discipline penalties, especially late in the season. And that's my job as a head coach, to correct those. And we will correct them. And I really expect us to be better, in this bowl game.
Back here.
Gary, I'm guessing you've seen the reports about Jim Harbaugh likely going to Michigan. As a AD and as a member of the selection committee, how important is it for Michigan to be a relevant member and a big-time player in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think Michigan's one of our brands in our league. And for our league to be good, you want Michigan to be good. You want the brands, you want your name schools in your league to be strong, for your league to be strong.
Up in the top.
Coach Malzahn, this is the first time the team has really gotten back together since Mitchell's passing. How important is this right now for the team, and Cap will do it for
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that was a very tough situation. Our team is a very close team. And, to have that experience and come back, I mean, he's in our thoughts and in our prayers, and his family is too.
Right over here. Yep.
I guess you mentioned that, your goal for right now is to be the most improved
Yeah.
for your last game of the ball.
Right.
How much if you lose the ball, do you feel like you didn't accomplish?
Well, I mean, you have goals, and you want your team to do everything in their power to reach that goal. And our goal is to be one of the most improved teams from the last game to the bowl game. And, so far, our preparation, I feel like our guys have done that. And, we'll see how the game goes. Like I said, we're playing one of the top teams in the country, so we're going to have to play well.
Leo?
Coach Alvarez, how important was it for you to get Coach Chris on board for recruiting?
I think this is a vital time. It's a crucial time in recruiting. We've been able to, it looks like we've been able to hold most of our commitments. Paul's done a good job of communicating with them, but he'll finalize his part. But it's vital. It's more vital to get the right coach. And then recruiting is obviously very important.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you very much, coaches. Good luck on Thursday and in preparation until then. Thank you.